What's up, everybody? It's your boy King David. I'm back at it with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about retention like I always do. I like to keep my videos raw and uncut. And I also like to ramble, so bear with me on some of the conversations or topics that topics that I bring up here, guys. Truth is that you got to realize when you start to retain, guys, it's a process, right? Like with anything that you do in life, it's a process. You start to retain, and certain things happen that are beneficial to you, certain things that are going to happen that are detrimental to you, but it's all like a part of the process of purifying yourself, right? I think retention, like I've said, is a process of purifying your soul, purifying who you are. Like, you were already meant to do this path, but when you start it, you don't understand the reasons why you're doing it a lot of the times. Some people get it faster than others because they're just meant to understand it easier. But you get to a point where you realize your old self needed to be purified. That's why you're coming into your new self. When you're doing this process of purification, there's going to be a lot of times you're going to go back to your old ways. But there's like certain points in your journey where you're going to be cut off from things that you were doing in the past, right? So you get so far in like a certain streak, you make it 15 days, let's say, right? You make it 2 weeks, right? Let's say you make it 2 weeks, but then you end up relapsing or releasing. Like I always say, I like to call it releasing. You end up releasing, and then you get back on the journey, right? But you don't get back on the journey immediately. Say you binge watch a little bit, you end up releasing more times. The further you go in this journey, you start to realize that like you're like battling yourself a lot of the times, right? You're like, is there really any benefits? Is there no benefits? Is there benefits, right? It's kind of like this like ups and down kind of like feeling. But I think the reason why that is because you're being tempted by the dark forces, right? The dark forces and the positive forces are both here on this planet, right? There's duality. And when you start to let go of something, especially if it's not good for you, like PMO, it wants you to stay a lot of the times because it was feeding off your energy. It was feeding off of who you were. And eventually you get to a point where you break free from it. Not every guy does, not every guy is going to go all the way with it. And I think that's the hard part, right? And not everybody's going to, like me, will film like the darker sides of the videos, like my previous videos, especially my beginning videos. Like, you see like the process that it takes, right? I'm not as sure of myself at times. I talk about retention, but just the way I'm talking about it is different, right? That's the journey in itself, right, guys? With a lot of the things that you do in life, you're going to get to a point where you start to have confidence in what you're doing. And the only reason why you have confidence in what you're doing is because you're starting to get good at it, or it's something that's good for you and you continue to do it because it's good for you. And sometimes you have slip-ups, but that's a part of the journey in itself, right, guys? So, I think I talked about not drinking, right? I never was a big drinker, guys. So, I stopped drinking, and I realized I don't need it, right? It's either take it or leave it kind of a thing. It was before in the past. Now it's just like I really don't care about drinking. Like, I will if it's like a certain occasion. I probably might. You know what I mean? Who knows the future? But the chances of me drinking are like very slim right now. You know what I mean? It's like something that I let go because it's just a low vibrational. It's like a low frequency thing. You know, you start to get away from these low frequency things that you do, smoking weed, drinking, fapping, guys. The further you go into your journey, the more away you get from these things. Even, you know, even certain women, right? Even certain women, you don't want to really necessarily be around them. Like, you're okay with like talking to them because you want that female energy, but it has to be the right female energy. It has to be like a light female energy instead of the dark female energy, right, guys? So you kind of get that understanding of why you're around this individual. You see through the veils, what I've said before. I think some people talk about that in their channels, and the reality is there's insights that you'll get that you'll never understand unless you really retain, guys. And like when I went 55 days, right, there's memories that I have like that are stuck in my mind, right? Memories of things that happen that are stuck into my mind. Like when you're not retaining, guys, like your memory, let's be honest, guys, like if you really are about retention and you're retaining, your memory is a much better, like sharper image. You might think of something, but you remember it almost exactly like you were there before. So your memory comes back. And it's also due to the fact that I wasn't drinking at the time too. You know, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking, I wasn't doing any of that. But it's more to it than that, guys. Like it has the fact is basically that when you're retaining, you're conserving memories, you're conserving moments in your mind, and that's what allows you to have like a deeper knowledge of like what you were doing in that very moment. Like you can look back at it and remember it. Now you're not going to remember everything, guys. Like that's kind of the funny part about the journey is like everything's not going to be remembered, but from a standpoint, you can remember more things and you can remember what people say. And it really does make a difference, guys. Like what I wanted to touch on in this topic, guys, is that when you break free from PMOing, right, guys? I'm gonna sip this tea real quick. Actually, it was coffee, but hey, whatever. When you break free from something, guys, it's gonna try to pull you back into whatever you were doing. And what I mean by that is whether it be in the physical or be in the digital. I like to say digital sometimes. So like your phone, right? Your algorithm. Algorithm is basically, it could be either like in person or it can be, on this digital realm. Most likely it's going to hit you first in the digital because that's what you've been watching these videos and this content on. And then when you stop doing that, then it's going to hit you in person, right? And when you're in person, you're going to notice that women, will show up in your life and they're like just your type. Like, for instance, like you'll be retaining. This is how you know retention works, guys. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? You'll be retaining. Your testosterone gets like stronger. You become more masculine of a man. And then you'll just like go into a store and then there's more beautiful women in that store. Like you walk in and like they just spawn in. It's kind of funny. No, honestly, guys, like it's like you walk into a place and like before you were kind of like, oh, you walk in and then you see a beautiful woman or she's already there and you see her and then you're like maybe trying to chase after her, you know what I mean? If you're that kind of guy. Now it's like you walk into a place and it's usually empty, right? You walk into like a certain place and it's like an empty place. Not completely empty, but people just seem to spawn into where you're at because like it's almost like you're the center of attention. Not exactly, but like that's what it feels like. Whether that's true or not is like your perception, but I believe it's definitely true because like you'll walk into a place, you're on days, like you're deep within semen retention, guys. Like let's say you're 3 months in, right? I've never gone that far, but let's just say you're 3 months retaining strong. Your aura field and the fact that you're like pheromones, the fact that your testosterone is being used properly sets you different or sets you apart from a lot of other men. And you walk in and you're like buying something. First of all, you're not really thinking about women too when you're on retention. So you're just walking in, you're going in to get what you want in that store. Like you're like, okay, I need soap, or I need toilet paper, or I need whatever you're buying, right? So you're going in there, you're buying those objects. Your mind is already on like a frequency of like, I'm here to get these things and I'm here to leave. You know what I mean? But what happens is these dark forces, your previous life, the previous actions you might have done, kind of come back to you. And they know what you're doing too, right? They're always watching you, technically, right? Sounds really strange. Like the universe is what I'm really talking about, guys. I'm not talking about like somebody like stalking you, trying to like. Hopefully that's not happening to you guys. But say you walk in, right? You're by the soap aisle. You grab the bar of soap. You're heading to the register. As you get to the register, there's like this beautiful woman in front of you in the line, right? And I'm talking about not just like okay looking. I'm talking about like just stunning. Like she's looking bad. Like she's a bad looking chick. Like she's got the right shape. She's got a nice waist. She got a nice butt, right? It's funny, like. Right, guys, like you get what I'm saying, right? She's got the right figure, and then she's like cute on top of that. She's got a nice looking face, and then like all of a sudden you're just like in line. You're 90 days strong. You're not even thinking about her really. Like you notice her, you're like, whoa, yeah, she's pretty good looking. And then you're like looking at the magazines or something. You're in line, and then she like looks back at you or like smiles or something, right? Or just maybe even she starts up a conversation. She's like, oh, I like how, I like your shoes or something. Or she says something to you. And then you guys spark up a conversation. And she ends up buying her stuff. You end up buying your stuff. Now that thought is like implanted in your mind, right? Before when you were releasing, you didn't have that energy to you, guys. Like you didn't have that like magnetic aura. Like that aura is what makes women want you more. It's like it's protruding from your body, and it surrounds like, I guess it's like 10 feet, right, guys? Like the further you retain, it gets up to like 10 feet of like pheromones or something. Who knows? Like I'm making this up, guys, but I've noticed that the girl in front of you might be talking to you, but then there might be a girl behind you who's like listening, and she's bad too, right? So now you got two bad chicks like right next to you. Like that doesn't happen very often. You notice that happens probably never, but for some reason she just decides to talk to you in that very moment. And you're like, okay. You're like, you're a good looking guy, right? Like say if you are above average in looks, right? Because people do look at people for their looks, I've said like most guys, you can be looking not that good looking like you in the face or whatever, but you still can pull chicks. Like that's true, guys. But women do notice like your face a lot of the time. So keeping your face up to date, like, good hygiene and stuff is helpful too. So I think women, if they see that you're good looking and you're retaining, it's like, whoa, they're like, whoa, who's this guy, right? And then if you have a nice outfit too on top of that, it's like an extra step beyond like other guys that they'll do. Like most guys kind of dress the same. So it's like you're like standing out from the crowd in itself just alone off of that, right? But if you're not retaining, like you're still blending into the crowd because like your aura field is not the same, right? I mean, your aura field is the same as like other guys, right? You're still in that lustful state. You see a girl who's like looking really good, you're like, man, she looks really good. And then you spark up the conversation a lot of times, right? You're like, hey, what you doing, ma? Or whatever. You might say that, or you might say like, oh, you look good. Or you might say something that she's used to hearing. So she's going to look at you and be like, oh, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? She might even look at you like how I just did right there, right? She might look at you like, hey, how you doing? You know? And if you're smooth with your talking ability, you can kind of get your foot in the door with, talking to her. But she's not going to be as interested as if you're like retaining, right? When you're retaining, you don't have to say practically anything, guys. Like, it's kind of crazy. You don't have to say zip. Like, let's be honest, right? You're just standing there, and just the pheromones that are just protruding off your body are so strong that she's like, who's this guy? Especially if you got like some cologne on too, you got a nice outfit, and you're looking good, and you're looking the par, right? You're looking the par, you're just doing your basic necessities, like you're just buying like some soap, right? For your bathroom or something. And then she just turns around and she's like, oh, hey, what's going on? And, well, she wouldn't say, hey, what's going on? Because, like, that would imply that she knows you. But I'm just saying, like, she's like, oh, I noticed you looking at the magazine. What do you think about blah, 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 right? And you're like, sparks up a conversation with you, right? Those things will happen when you're on retention. And the reason why is because your testosterone, guys. Women like guys with high testosterone. Testosterone is going down because of, like, the foods we're eating, the boxers we're wearing, guys. Like, you want to be wearing like cotton boxers, of course, right? You want to be taking care of your health all around, like physically in shape and things like that too will help increase your testosterone. So the further you get into these, testosterone building things, you start to like narrow it down to a certain thing. So let's say you do have a high testosterone, right? You have a high testosterone. Your outfit's good. You're on retention. You're strong on retention. Like, you're 90 days plus, right? I feel like that's like when you're really serious about retention. If you go past 90 days, like, you're pretty much serious. You got all that down, right? Fits right. Smell good. Face is nice. You know what I mean? Your hair's not all crazy or nothing like that, guys. Like, hygiene's right. You're looking smooth, right? You're looking up to par. And you smell good. And then you're on retention, right? There's a girl who's attractive in front of you. She's going to be... what was I trying to get at here? Sorry, guys. Sometimes my mind goes off into just wonderland, guys. But what I'm trying to say is, like, say if all that is up to par, right? And you're just doing your regular business, like you're just buying something already. Now, she's already going to be generally interested in you. She might not say anything. Like, some girls are just really shy and they don't say anything. But let's say she's standing in front of you and she, like, looks back at you or something and she, like, smiles or something. That's already, like, a signal that she's, like, interested, possibly. You know what I mean? Or she's just looking at you and saying, okay, this guy looks actually like handsome, She might think he looks good. So, or you look good, right? Bam, right there. And that's what I mean is, like, everything you're doing is already you're maxing like your chances of pulling a woman because your testosterone's high, your fit's right, your hygiene's right. Everything's up to par. Like, girls really notice all these things. And then she starts to talk to you. Now, here's the important part, guys. Like, you don't have to say much, like I said earlier, right? Saying something is good, but you necessarily don't have to say anything to them. It's like, or if you do say something, you can say little instead of more. I feel like the more you say sometimes, especially if you don't know what to say, is actually like not in your favor. If she says like, oh, do you like I said before, the magazine, right? Say it's a magazine about like, who knows, whatever. It's a magazine about, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Let's talk about like candy, right? She's like, okay, Do you like that Reese's? Like, do you like Reese's or something? She says something just random, right? And you just like look at her and you're like, yeah, sure. Sometimes yeah, sure is enough, guys. Like, oftentimes we might go all on like this, like talk, like I do sometimes. Oh, I love Reese's and they're really good and stuff. Like, you don't need to go that far with it, guys. Like, you just should say like, yeah, they're pretty good. Like, I eat them occasionally or something. You know what I mean? That's enough. Even saying like less than that can be enough, right? It depends on the girl. Depends on if she's really talkative like that. And you don't know if she's into you if she continues the conversation. She's like, oh, well, I'll buy you a Reese's or something. If she says something like that, that's a general, like, she's into you. Like, if she's going to be buying you something and she doesn't even know you, she probably is into you. You know what I mean? Just little signs, little tips, guys. Like, but as far as the conversation, right? Let's say the conversation gets a little bit deeper, right? You guys are actually having a conversation. The line's long, and you're having this conversation back and forth. It's kind of playing a tennis game, right? I like to look at it as like a tennis game. She hits the ball. Usually you want the woman to hit the ball first, guys. Like, you don't want to be saying something to her because that puts you in a point of like, you're thirsty. That's what a lot of guys say, right? You want the girl to say something to you first or just look at you first to initiate the conversation, right? That's the whole idea. And I know my channel is not about dating or whatnot, guys, but I'm just saying, like, with retention, that's kind of what's going to happen because a lot of guys that do retention, their goal is to find a woman or find a partner that they could be with, right, guys? So when this happens is obvious. The most obvious thing to do in this moment, right, if the conversation's like speeding up, you kind of got to have like a point where it's going to end. And how will it end, right? It's like, are you generally interested in this girl? Okay, she's attractive, but you know what I mean? You want to be talking about what you want to talk about mostly, right? If she brings up some random conversation that you're really generally not interested in, you know what I mean? You could just keep it short with her. You don't have to like go further into conversation just because of her looks, right? You just want like, that's what a lot of guys will do. They'll be like, oh yeah, this and that, blah blah, and they're like saying too much. Like, they're saying just too much. Like, maybe she generally was just like, do you like this candy or whatnot? It was just a thought out of her brain. Like, she just saw you were handsome, but she already has a man. Or maybe she thought you were handsome until you started talking too much. A lot of guys miss their opportunities because they say way too much when they should just be quiet. The art of not saying stuff and being mysterious is the idea here, guys. Like, you want to be this guy who just lets his image mostly do the work. It's okay to like say hey or hi or whatever when you're walking past somebody, just to let them know that you're not like a freaking like serial killer. Hello, I'm just walking down this trail, just a hey. Whether if she's good looking or not, it's like chances are you might see her, you might not see her. Just a quick pass and just a hello to know that Now, don't be trying to approach somebody on the path, especially if they're not generally interested in you guys. Like, she has to have some interest before you approach and say something. A lot of guys forget this, and even the guys that don't know this, they just think that's how you're supposed to pick up on girls. It's like, you don't want to force your way into anything or any situation because a lot of the times you're doing too much, and women notice this, and they instantly get turned off. Like, too much talking, too much movement towards her, too much even touching. Guys will try to touch the girl. It's like the girl doesn't want to be touched a lot of the time. She's like, nah, like, I don't know you. We haven't talked enough. I'm not trying to get, more comfortable with you. You're just saying too much about yourself too. You leave out the mysterious side of yourself. So you want to be sorry, guys. I told you I'm not trying to do, dating stuff, which isn't, well, this isn't technically dating topic, but it makes a lot of sense. Like, just the ideas of having the right tips on what to do in a certain situation with women, right? So, say you're talking and the conversation's good, coming to the end of the conversation, you're talking about what you want to talk about, but you're not, revealing too much about yourself or revealing too much about, let's say, what you wanted to talk about, right? Sorry, guys, I kind of have a thought in myself. Say you're talking about motorbikes or something, like you like to ride motorcycles. Oh yeah, Reese's whatever, but I was just working on my bike yesterday or something. If she's interested in what you're talking about, you guys should you should, or not you guys, excuse me, you should talk to her a little bit more and see how much her interest is. Is she generally interested in motorbikes? Is she generally interested in just the conversation that you guys had and she's really wanting to get to know you more, right? Or is she just trying to keep the conversation going, right, guys? Like, some people just try to do that. They want to keep it going because maybe they're bored, maybe they're not bored, maybe they just want to have a conversation with you because they just, for whatever reason, right? There's so many reasons behind this, right? But just knowing the difference. And I feel like when you're on retention, even though you're very strong, like, even though your pheromones are very strong and like your presence is good and your look is good, it's not enough, guys. It's not enough to pull girls, right? The last step is probably the most important part, is to remain mysterious, not say too much, say the right things at the right time. And that's what's going to make them more attracted to you and allow you to, get with these girls, right? If that's what you guys are trying to do with retention, right? Now, there's the other side of retention. I know I'm making this video kind of long, but the other side of retention are the guys who are retaining just for the benefits, and which is a good thing too, guys. Like, if you're retaining to get your life back on track, right? You're retaining to have more spiritual enlightenment or spiritual growth. That's good too. With that, it's a longer journey, right? You're not just going to retain for a certain amount of time, pull a girl, and then end up saying like, okay, I got the girl, everything's good. Now I'm going back to my normal lifestyle, right, guys? And then you'll probably end up, going back to releasing, and then the relationship or whatever, or this fling that you guys had, it ends up ending because you're still in a low vibrational state. You went from this very high vibrational state to back to this old, your old self, and she's not going to be as attracted to you at that point. You've released too many times. She's like, hey, look, you're just not it for me. Your testosterone is not as high. Like, you're not as attractive anymore to me. So you end up losing that attraction. And unless you're just the dude, unless you're always on par, even though you release a lot. Not a lot of guys are like that, guys. You can be that way, but usually they're excuse me for stuttering, guys. Usually those are guys who are sleeping with women consistently, right? If you're just a guy who's out all the time, you're doing what studs do, right? You're approaching women, you have good game, and maybe it's not even game. I don't believe in game. Game is nothing, right, guys? It's totally BS, right? It's just about doing the right actions, right? Game is something you're trying to play somebody, right? You're playing a game, right? You shouldn't be playing any games. Women can see through a lot of this stuff. They know if you're going to be trying to playing a game with them or not, right? So it's all about just doing the right things and saying the right things, and that allows you to, get your foot in the door with being in either a relationship or hooking up with this woman, right? So the whole idea is that I know I've said a lot in this video. Excuse me. I need some water. I know I've said a lot in this video, guys. Sorry. Choked on my own, phlegm there. Well, I don't have any phlegm, but geez. All right. let me wrap this up for you guys because this is about a 30-minute video, and we'll get to the bottom of this. So the conversation's coming to the end with the woman, right? We'll skip to the part where I was like talking about the conversation. You're in line, you're buying the soap, yada yada, right? So now, how do you end this? Most guys will ask for their number. You don't really want to ask for the woman's number. That's okay, but oftentimes that leaves you in like, or leaves her in either an option or you're expecting to get the number. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of women presume, and that's what a lot of guys presume. They're like, oh, the conversation went well, maybe I should get her number, right? And that's like, it's a hit or miss. It's like a 50-50 kind of a thing. You can get her number, but how often, what's the chances that you're going to text her? You know what I mean? Are you just going to get her number just because you want to just get her number? Are you going to get her number because you're genuinely interested in her? Are you going to get her number because the conversation was good and you were actually talking about something you enjoyed talking about with her? Are you going to get her number because she was genuinely interested in the conversation? You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm going, guys? And then for women, they usually think like, do I really want to give my number out to this person? I don't know who he is. You know what I mean? Is he going to try to, sleep with me? I mean, that's the more obvious one, guys. Like you guys didn't know each other before this conversation. So it's like she has to presume that you want to like hook up with her. And if she doesn't have that general interest, like, because women make decisions pretty quick. Like if they are attracted to you, they want to be with you, they're going to let you know like right off the bat, right? With just a look. It's really mostly just eye contact, right, guys? So if she knows like this guy's really attractive, just I want to get to know him more. I don't care what he's talking about. I just want to, you know what I mean, get to the end, And then say if that happens, right, guys, she'll just give you the number. She'll just be generally interested in you. She just thinks you're good looking. If she's bold enough, she'll just, hey, here's my number, text me, Women are like that, especially if you're on retention, guys. Like, you got to be on retention. Like, if you're not on retention, that's fine too. You'll still get that, but you got to be up to par. Like, obviously, you got to have the right fit, the cologne, the look, everything's got to be up to par. And you have to know how to speak. Not say too much, be mysterious. That is the right amount, Having all that is important, guys. And the retention is just adding on to that. And I feel like retention, since you're being purified, you're in a process of purification. If you're serious about retention and you're really going on those longer streaks with retention, you're going to attract different types of women. You're going to attract women who are either working on themselves, or you're going to attract women, if you're already like free from the PMO, you're going to attract women who are on that same page. And that's what's going to, you're looking more for like a person that you can be with for life, right? That's the whole idea. It's like you're both healed, both healed individuals. So you're not drinking all the time on the weekends. You're not smoking. You're not fapping. You're not doing all these debaucherous things with other people or by yourself, right, guys? So when you're in that state, you're going to attract those kind of women. And let's be honest, they're probably not going to be all like glowed up, right? They're not going to be using makeup and stuff a lot of the times. Like, they're going to be more natural, like how you would be. So if that's what you're looking for, then hey, do retention and stick with it. So it's not about women, guys. Like, retention is not about women, but it is very important to know when you are retaining that you can pull more women through retaining, guys. Like, that is the whole idea that, or the whole, sorry, I had a pause there. That's the whole thing that actually happens. Like, I can't really put it in other words, but that is what a lot of guys tend to do retention for, is to, be with women, but it's a process of purification and changing yourself and really looking within and finding out, some not mistakes, some areas to improve, guys, on yourself, and that's what causes more success rates with women, right? So yeah, retention. Like I've said before, stay on retention. And when your pheromones are really high like that, you're going to attract other women that you're not interested in too. Like you're going to attract a lot of women. You're going to attract a lot of women, guys. But at first, especially like in the beginning stages of retention, women are going to be coming out the woodwork, guys. Like it's insane. But then when you get later into the journey, like how I am, right? Like you've gone like a couple years, it's more select few, and because you're like like you see through the veil, right? You see through what these women's intentions are, and it's like if you're looking for something specific, that's what you're technically gonna get eventually, right, guys? Like as long as you stay, on your path, like that's what you're gonna attract. You're gonna attract what you are, guys. So if you're not going for that and you're doing retention, you're going to what can I say? You're gonna get a lot of women who are like you are right now. Like you're still not healed, so you're gonna attract a lot of women who aren't healed, which is fine if that's what you want, guys. So either way it's like, let me put it as simple as terms before I end the video, guys. Say if you're a drinker, you like to drink beers, you like to smoke weed, you like to chill around bars, you like to do all that stuff. Like you're gonna attract those kind of women into your life. If you're not that kind of person, you're more spiritual, you're in the woods, you're chilling, you're having a fun time without any intoxication. Like that's the kind of woman that is gonna be more geared to who you are, right? Or yeah, geared to, I guess, is a bit weird way to put it, but yeah, it works that way too. Sorry guys, I'm stuttering. I'm getting to the limit here, and just have a blessed day. Stay focused on your retention journeys. Hopefully you took something from this, and peace out. Have a good one.